YouTube, what's up guys? Hey, welcome back. Made it back all the way from Phoenix. Actually took a rental car, did the whole drive, drove all the way back up to Washington. We're in sunny Washington. It's usually not too sunny out like right now, but it's really nice. I wanted to give you guys 10, not one, but 10 reasons why I did not pick up that 2002 Toyota Celica GTS. So I'm gonna go over that real quick, and I got a whole list here, and I wanted to tell you guys 10 reasons. Just so you guys understood why I didn't pick that up and you guys don't feel mad at me or anything. It's like a free car. Why would I not get a free car? Why would you not get a free car? There's some reasons why I didn't get it. So as you guys saw, it probably wouldn't have made it back. So I'll go ahead and start with number 10. So number 10, the biggest thing is that I actually don't really want the car, to be honest. At first, I wanted a Sports M or I wanted a Tsunami Edition. Those are the two Celicas that I'm looking for. If either one of those were, if that was a Sports M or if that was a Tsunami Edition, I would have brought that home no matter that condition. I would love the body kits on Tsunamis. I love the way they look. I like the year of them, so I would have brought it home if it was a Tsunami. And if it was a Sports M, like someone brought it into the US, totally would have been all over that. So it wasn't a Sports M. That's number 10. Number 9, I really didn't feel comfortable driving my girlfriend all the way back. The car would not, it would have made it. It would not have made it. We actually drove the whole way back, like I said, did about 1,800 miles or 2,000 miles back, and there's no way that the condition of that car would have made it back, not a chance. Another reason, as you guys are looking at this car is pretty darn brand new paint on it. It looks really good. I actually just painted the Celica before. I was hoping to have a car that actually had good paint on it, good original paint, and maybe I could polish it. But being out in Arizona, it had really bad paint. So number 8, the paint was really, really bad on there. Number 7, I did not like the gray interior. So 2002 and before, the interior is like a light gray, maybe a darker gray. But I just don't care for that. I love the 2003 Post. It comes with this darker gray or like charcoal colored, almost not as dark as my MR2's black, but like a darker charcoal. I think it looks really good. That was another reason. If that interior would have had it, the whole interior is in really shoddy condition. That's fine. That's just the way that car was. But for me, even if it was in shoddy condition and it was a 2003 and above, I would have been more attracted to taking the car home with me. I would have been much more on that. So it being a 2002 and before, it had gray interior. I don't really much care for that. That's just my opinion. I've owned them before, and I prefer the black one, the black interior. Going into the interior and the year, it's a 2000 that car, or 2002 that car was. It's one of the least desirable years. It has a 6,200 RPM engagement point for lift, but which is still one of the lowers. The other later ones, actually, I believe the 2004 has a 6,400, but it revs higher. On that 2002, the lift engagement on the stock ECU, it actually stops at 7,800 RPMs, and it just doesn't go very far. And you'd have to get a new ECU for it. Now, if I were to turbo it, that would kind of go into my next reason. Yeah. So on the O2s, they have they're kind of just the least desirable out of the 7th-gen Celicas. 2000 had the higher. They were the first. There's a bunch of them on the 2000s. They had a higher red line. The red line on the O2s was 7,800 RPMs. So number 6 has lower on there. The 2002 was just never my favorite. I don't know how well they sold on those. I know that the 2000s they sold a lot of. Yeah, so that lower lift engagement, when I tried to hit lift on it, you know, I know that car revs at 7,800 RPMs. So the next one, which will be number 5, due to the condition and due to the year and due to the overall what it was, I feel that it wouldn't have been a good viable option for a turbo due to the age and the condition of it. That clutch was causing a lot of issues. Motor mounts, he was saying that he thinks that the motor mounts need replaced. There's just a lot of stuff that would need to be replaced. It's 220,000-ish miles, I think, on it. I know that 2ZZs can go to like 400,000. I think I've seen them. I've seen a friend that had a turbo one that was 300K. But for me to buy a turbo kit and throw it on a car that was in that condition, I just didn't feel it was a viable turbo option for the channel. I think that if I would have put a turbo on there and I would have boosted it like at 7 or 8 pounds, it would have popped. So I wasn't about that for that. So number 5, I don't think it was a good option for a turbo, which you guys all want to see a turbo build. Number 4, the 2ZZ on it and the C60, I said, again, for the power plant, I said that it had seen its best years. What do I mean by that? I mean that that car had been sitting out in the summer. It didn't have the best level of probably coolant. I didn't really look at that, but I knew the clutch fluid wasn't there. The AC, that's my next reason, the AC didn't work. But I just really feel that the 2ZZ and C60 had seen its better years. And so I said it, number 4, I just said it had seen its better years. I guess I could say number 4 could also be that my girlfriend didn't really want to be seen in it. She loves Celica, and she's all about it, but we were dying laughing together because we were in Hollywood and there was, I should roll that clip. Oh, so good.
There's a G-Wagon coming too. Don't forget this one.
Oh, and another Lambo.
Oh, cool, look at the toy.
Oh my gosh. That is crazy. Right here. But there was an SBJ Lambo and another SVJ. I think there's 2 of them, and they both went flying by, and we were dying laughing because I don't even think I could have got that car out of first gear. And you know how embarrassing that would have been if you would have seen those. It just wasn't a good option. The car had seen its best. Another reason, going back on it, seen its best years, the AC did not work. Neither did the heater. We drove through some weather, we drove through some cold, we drove through some hot. If there was no AC and there was no heater, it would have been miserable to drive back up to Washington if it could have made it. The fan didn't work on it, so I think the whole heater core would have been replaced. So what does that entail? It means removing the whole front interior to replace that. And if I was going to do that, I would want to replace the front whole interior with black, the 2003 Plus. So I would have gotten that part. There's a lot of reasons that when I came to that decision of not bringing that car home, there's a lot of these 10 reasons really packed up. Like, yeah, I don't want that one. It's not the one for me. So no heater and no AC. Those are big ones. Number 2 goes on to that, what I was saying about the transmission. It's seen its better years. Number 2, the synchros. So when I was driving it, it went into all the gears it would go into. But my big concern is if it was grinding so much as it was, that even if those synchros touch every now and then a little bit, it's still wear and tear on them. If you put forced induction, like on this car with a C60, the C60s are one of the one of the weaker points of the power plant, and they actually go pretty quick. So, you know, we would have been like, oh great, turbo, well, all great, new transmission as well. So that's something that I didn't really feel that, is it valuable to do that? Nah, I didn't really feel. So number 2, I felt that transmission was probably going to give soon. C60s are not the strongest of transmissions. You know, if they're not turboed, they go for a while, but if they're turboed, and have a lot of use on them, they can give. I've actually replaced 3 or 4 of them, and I just didn't want to do that. Even if, you know, if it's a later year, like if it's 2003 and above, I love those synchros. I think they're really good. So the last reason is going to be, and the biggest reason is going to be that clutch. That clutch was gnarly on there. You could hear, actually when I started up in that last video, you could hear that's because the clutch was not completely separated from the flywheel, and that flywheel and clutch are probably just destroyed and glued together. I would actually like to open it up to see how damaged it was and to see if the bell housing of the transmission was also damaged. But those are pretty good reasons why I didn't get it. You know, the car would not have made it home. There's no way. We would have to pull over and go to the shop. So that's a big. If that car had that black interior, if it did have a black interior like this car, I love this interior, I totally would have been game on it. Like that, the 03, if it was an 03, I would have saw it. There were some parts to the interior of it. You know, like I mentioned earlier, the heater didn't work or the air conditioner. Yeah, so like I mentioned, I really like the black interior of mine. There's just a lot of things on it that I didn't feel like this was the right car for me. You know, I was just thinking like, is this going to be the right car for me? Is this not going to be the right car for me? And I really just said, you know what, this isn't going to be the right one for me. So I decided to go with you know, staying with my 2ZZ MR2. Yeah, so the 2ZZ MR2, I'm sticking with it. I like the 2ZZ MR2. I got a 2ZZ turboed Lotus that I've bought in this car and driven it like 200-300 miles. I still have not changed the oil on it. The furthest I've driven that car is back home, and I want to get it out. So I got to focus on that. I got a lot of projects for the channel. The next thing that I'm trying to do is just source EXIGE access panels. Once I get that and the EXIGE access panels, and then once I get the what am I missing? The grills that cover the front end of the clam, we'll have that off to paint. So I'm really excited for that. I'm just missing 2 parts. I'll send those off to the paint, and we'll be on our way with that. I mean, those are 10 good reasons. I'll stand by those. I mean, yes, it was a free car. Yes, it was from subscriber, which you're amazing, man. Thank you so much. But I think that car just had too much work, and the end result of would have been something that I didn't truly like want, or say, you know, this is, at the end of it, I have the black interior, I got all the good stuff, that this is a car that I wanted to build. Like that 03 that I built on my last one, that was the car that I wanted to build. That car was sick. It was so good looking. I love the front end on it. I loved all of it. This other one was just, I was putting it together because it was a free car. It wasn't exactly what I wanted. If it was in better condition and it would have drove home, I would have brought it home. I know I would have, but there was just too many signs. So I'm glad I didn't get it. Again, back onto the Lotus, back onto the MR2, back onto the Evo. 2ZZ goodness right here. I got a tuner that's gonna tune this car probably within the next month. If anyone has a data log it, please send it to me or let me borrow it for you. I'll pay you for it. Or if you have a used one, you want to sell it, I'll buy it off of you. I'm looking for a PFC data log it. Comment down below. Other than that, make sure to like, subscribe. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next video.